Right. So we are, let me just turn around to show you the park from the distance. We are actually on a battlefield. It was the site of a battle in 1642 from the, hi Leonie, against the royalists against the parliamentarian through the Civil War. And parliamentarians, they won the Battle of Turnham Green. The royalists were kind of kept outside of London. But anyway, who cares? Today we're not here to talk about battles, we're here to talk about art. So let's go. So we are in a very residential area, thank you. And Chiswick, so Chiswick is named after cheese, really. Back in the days, apparently there was a cheese fair in Chiswick until the 19th century, really. So that would have been a place to come and grab your cheese. Not for me. I don't do cheese. I hate cheese. I'm a terrible French. That's why I've been banned and I had to move to London because I don't do cheese. So we'll start with the back of the house, mainly, well, we can already see a bit of the front in the distance, but let's start with the back because I've noticed with those little tours, often people are very late. So let's keep the best for the end. My bicycle is still here. That's a good sign. And let's go. That's fine. You can send some cheese emojis. I'm not put off by the emojis. I'm just put off by the smells. Well, it depends what type of cheese. If it's like really well, like proper cooked and everything, that's fine. All right. So we are already at the back of the house here. You can see a little mushroom. There's quite a few mushrooms on the building. Apparently, a lot of the art has been created under the influence of some form of hallucinogenics. So quite a few artists got invited to play a part in the house. The three stick characters there, they represent the Angola Three. The Angola Three, they were part of the Black Panthers in the 60s, and they have been kept in prison over 40 years, a miscarriage of justice. Some people believe they have been framed. So for the ones that don't know about the Black Panthers, they were basically a movement in America, in the US, that wanted to empower the people, the black people in particular. Right. While there's no one parked here, let me step out so you can have a postcard of the full building. We're lucky because just earlier there was a van here. We couldn't see the full building. So that is just the back of the house. And as you can see, it's completely covered by mosaic. It took over 20 years to complete. And let me show you some of the details. So we have, well, this is a little memorial for a gentleman called Luis Ramirez. He was on the death row in Texas, and he has been executed. A lot of what Carrie does, the artist, Carrie Reichardt, she lives inside the building. She's what they call the craftivist. So a craftivist is, well, it's an activist that does craft. And Luis Ramirez, let me show you right here. You've got his original, that's a real Texas prison ID. The artist managed to befriend quite a few prisoners on the death row, and he managed to give her a prison ID. She met him 2 days before he was executed. So the actual ID is now in some kind of resin here at the back. So a lot of the messages behind, where is Nathalie? I'm here, Robin. I'm here. Can you not hear me? Oh, in Chiswick. Oh, okay. I thought you meant where am I in general. Yeah, in West London, in the far west. So a lot of the messages here are against the death penalty. Really, I'm gonna zoom in on quite a lot so you can see. I'm not sure the exact location, but yeah, he was executed in Texas. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Huntsville, Jane. Yeah. So we have quite a few skulls all over the building, and some Maya gods as well. She likes the Maya gods and civilization. So we have 4 Maya gods in total. Let me show you her name as well, just in case if you wanted to follow her on Instagram or anything. So the house belongs to, well, her dad bought it in the 40s. It's probably worth much more today. We have some lovely quotations all around the building. Some are a bit more philosophical than others. And we've got, that's from The Simpsons. That's one of the fish from The Simpsons. Right, let me step back again. So behind the octopus, you can see some, it's still mosaic, but it looks like graffiti, graffiti writing. Apparently it's an homage to graffiti. And before to do the mosaic, they had done a graffiti on the wall, but you know, we are in Chiswick, it's quite posh. Apparently the council tried to contact them to know if they could paint over the graffiti. They never replied, and the council had no idea that they had painted it themselves. So one day the council came and they painted over. They didn't have any permission or anything, they just painted over. Right. Let me try to zoom into the wave. So you might be able to see the wave of, what is it called? Kanawaga. It's some kind of let me try to zoom in. I'm standing on my toe, zooming in the same time. I guess you can see. So can you see inside the wave, you can see some of London landmark, like St. Paul's Cathedral, the Gherkin. So this is, sorry, it's hard to frame. There we go. So this is against global warming, basically. So it is the wave of Kanawaga with London being submerged by water. While we're up there, let me show you the top. So the lady with the 8 arms, it's Meritsi. She's a Buddhist icon. And of course, power to all the people. That was pretty much the slogan of the Black Panthers in the 60s, you know. Let me see if there's anything else on this side that I wanted to show you. If I try to zoom in, can you see the flying eyeball there? Inside, you have a portrait of, again, one gentleman that was executed on the death row in America. We'll see a bit more about him on the other side. And let me zoom out again. Right, so I think that's all I wanted to show you on this side. And so Stick, that's the artist that was invited to do those 3 men. Oh, actually, let me zoom in to show you the portraits. So the Angola 3, it's Hernan Wallace. Hernan Wallace, unfortunately, he was held in solitary confinement for over 40 years, and he was released, and he died the next day. The other 2 of the Angola 3, it's Albert Woodfox and Robert King. They're still alive, and they actually visited the house. Let me show you. I should have a photo. Here they are. So they came to visit Carrie. Has there been resistance from the neighbors? As far as I know, I've seen a few interviews, but because it was on TV, it was for the BBC. They were kind of nice. It does kind of sound that some of them were not really impressed by the scaffolding, because there was scaffolding for many, many months and years, really. It took over 20 years. But nowadays, I think they're pretty much all... yes, exactly, the wave of also Okusai, yeah, with London inside. Right, let's go and take a look at the front. So the front is probably even more impressive. Let me show you. So not only the house, we also have two vehicles that are fully covered in mosaic. We've got one of the black, those black cabs. There we go. So again, the treatment room, that's the name of the building. She's named it after some mental health institution in Hackney, where she might have had to spend a bit of time herself. So that's the black cab. So you know those black cabs, they are the iconic taxis that we have in London. To be a black cab driver, you have to take a massive exam. It is called the knowledge. It's a crazy exam. You have to be able to go from A to B without using a sat nav at all and knowing the best. They basically almost have, you know, like 27,000 streets in their head, really, because they're not allowed to use a sat nav or anything. And often, you know, if you ever come to London as a visitor, I highly recommend taking one of those black cabs instead of Uber or any other app, because really they're almost like a tour guide. You know, they know so much. Apparently, the black cab drivers, they have on average a higher IQ than we do. You love this woman? Do you mean the woman in the window, or do you mean the artist, Tish? Oh, the artist, yeah. She's done a Tree of Life as well here in Chiswick, somewhere else. And I think she did a massive mosaic in Aberdeen about suffragettes. I was in Aberdeen last April, but didn't have time to go and see it. So the taxi itself, it's an homage for Voodoo Zulu. He was also a Black Panther, and he was held in solitary confinement for 38 years. Can you imagine? Right, let me show you the other vehicle, which is the Tiki Love truck. The Tiki Love truck, the vehicles, by the way, they are a completely different piece of art. They would have been exposed elsewhere. The Tiki Love truck was exposed at the V&A in 2014 in an exhibition called Disobedient Objects. Oh, it looks like my signal has dropped. I hope it's still okay. So I'll show you, that's the Tiki Love truck on the street. And the Tiki Love truck, it's also an homage to another prisoner on the death row that was also executed. His name is John Ashamander. He was also on the death row. So a lot of it is against the death penalty, really. And there's quite a few artists that have been involved in the project. One of them, it's actually Carrie's ex. Well, it was her partner at the time. His name is Tyan Rich. He's the one that did those lovers. Oh, in Houston, you have a car parade. Oh, that'll be cool. I'd love to see that. Right, let me zoom out. So you also have a lot of eye globes again. The eye globes, they've been sent from all over the world, really. A lot of artists got involved. You see a cat on the left-hand side. Let me zoom in. So that's a Chester cat from Alice in the Wonderland. And we've got two, you know, they disappear in Alice in the Wonderland. So this one is easy to spot because he's not disappeared yet. We've got a second one, I'll show you in a minute, that is a bit harder to spot. We've got two blue plaques. They have been made by the artist herself. So I don't know if you can hear. One of them says, the treatment rooms, lots of people lived and partied here. And the other one says, I don't think you'll be able to read. It's, let me see, can I read? It says, NA faith, hope and courage. Maybe some of us partied a little bit too hard. So that's quite cool. Let me show you the door. I'll have to zoom out. There we go. So we've got here a Maya god again and a tree of life. So this is a tree of life here. And above the door, you have a one-eye Mickey Mouse. And another Maya god here. And we should have, we have a Sheila Nagig here. Let me show you the Sheila Nagig. I don't know if you've ever seen a Sheila Nagig. They are little, like little monsters with a big vulva. Basically, they're opening their vagina. We don't really know where they come from. We see them sometimes on cathedrals, on medieval buildings in general. We think they might be Celtic, but anyway, they're meant to be pushing away the bad spirits. And let me show you here. We've got a fairy as well on the top up there. Let me zoom out a bit. That's a fairy. So that's from a different artist as well. Stephanie Roberts, I think her name was. Right, let me move down here. So more mushrooms. Yes, the artist lives here. I can actually hear them right now. That's why I've kind of lowered down the sound of my voice because, you know, I don't want to be too loud. This is an interesting one. This is, how do we call them? Madrakes, this one. So those are like, you might have seen them in Harry Potter. They are half plant, half human. And if you've seen Harry Potter, usually when you get them out of the pot, they go, if you've seen the movie. Anyway, those Madrakes were here before Harry Potter. And this one is very, very naughty. I don't know if you can see what he's doing. He's playing with himself. Unacceptable. Naughty, naughty Madrakes. Yeah, you've seen them in Harry Potter. Cool. And more mushrooms. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to show you from close up. Otherwise, that's the second cat. It's a bit harder to spot because he's disappearing. So that's the Cheshire cat. And we have, I'm going to zoom out and cross over the street to show you the building from the distance. Yep. Right. There we go. And it's nice. It's not too sunny because when it's too sunny, it's too shiny. We don't really see as much. So you might be able to read. It says, I'm an artist. Your rules don't apply. And above the windows, the middle window, you see a scarab that symbolizes the rebirth. There's some more scarabs over the two windows there. I think that's from a French artist called, what's his name? Philippe Vignal, I think. And the two skulls above the windows, this is two different tributes. One of them is Carrie Reichardt, that's the artist mum. when she passed away, I think in 2012. And the second one, Hernan Wallace, he was again one of the prisoners executed on the death row. So that's a tribute to him. All right, let me zoom out. Let me go a bit further so you can get another postcard with the top. Let me try to find a nice, oh, that's not too bad. Cool. So that was the Mosaic House for you guys. So again, 20 years of work, many different artists from all over the globe. They gave it a big push in 2017 to finish the building. I'd be curious to know how much the building is worth now. How did she fund it? We don't. I think she paid for it herself, but she does get some commission. She's got a website if you are curious, and she does the commission work as well. I'm not too sure whether she had to pay the artists that took part, or if it was more like a communal project. But yeah, we don't know how much it cost her in total. I've seen an interview of her, and she said the BBC presenter was like, "How much did it cost you?" She said, "My life." So we don't know, but years and years of work, and yeah, beautiful building. There's often a lot of Instagrammers that come here to take a photo. Right, cool. I'm gonna stay tuned a few minutes to see if you have any questions for me. Let me show you my face again. So I hope you enjoyed this little snippet of the Mosaic House. Oh, perfect, Cindy. Yeah, that's. I think I came across that blog. If you wanna click on the link, you've got all the description of all the little details that you can spot. Thank you, Diana. It's Carrie Reichardt. Carrie. Ooh, you know what? I can always go back to. I'm gonna go back to the back of the house and show you her Instagram if you wanted to follow her. Let me bear with me one sec. This way, if you wanted to check her website or her Instagram, I'll show you. So Carrie Reichardt, but the Instagram is just there. There you go. Cheer up, you bastards. So she's the artist. Oh, thank you, Cindy, for the link. Right. Thank you for coming today, guys. Thank you for all your tips. And if you don't follow me yet, you might want to follow my channel.